Hello everyone, nice to meet you again with the Disney 3D Art channel. In today's video it will be the character Claudette, the first of Bimbettes, from the movie Beauty and the Beast. The Bimbettes, individual names Claudette, Laurette, and Paulette, are blonde identical triplets who fawn over Gaston in Disney's 1991 animated feature film Beauty and the Beast. They wear red, amber, and green dresses respectively, and possess differing hairstyles that vary constantly throughout their appearances in the movie. The Bimbettes, whose individual names are Claudette, with the red dress, Laurette, with the amber dress, and Paulette, with the green dress, are identical triplet sisters working as waitresses at a local tavern in the unnamed French village which was the home of Belle. Like most of the young women of the village, according to the 1994 Marvel Comics as well as implied in the original film, they are infatuated with Gaston, showing neither awareness or concern over his truly boorish and chauvinistic nature, but he has no interest in marrying any of them because he only wants the most beautiful girl in town as his wife. Collectively, the Bimbettes are love-struck maidens who swoon for Gaston, primarily due to his handsome physique. Like Gaston, they primarily like someone largely because of how they look, although it is unclear if they are obsessed with their own looks like Gaston is. They think Belle is crazy for not admiring Gaston as much as they do, though they seem to be oblivious to Gaston's aggressive and sexist demeanor. They also get upset very easily too. Unlike Belle, they have some desire to get married and be a man's wife. The Winter Wonderland issue for Marvel Comics implied that their love for Gaston occurred as early as childhood. They do not seem to have any respect for Gaston's partner LeFou, at least in the Marvel Comics. They were also shown to be very forgiving in spite of whatever happened, as evidenced by their giving comfort to Gaston despite the latter's attempt to marry Belle beforehand, and their devastation when they found out he was the groom at the failed wedding, as well as their attending the Prince and Belle's wedding despite Gaston's death. In Marvel Comics, they are shown to be somewhat jealous of Belle and are constantly coming up with plans to make Gaston fall in love with them and stop obsessing with Belle. Although they are not book smart, they have had moments of cleverness, at least in the Marvel Comics, a notable instance being the third issue when one of the Bimbettes, Laurette, disguised herself as Belle, anticipating that Gaston would want to choose Belle at a wife auction, not letting up the disguise until after she won Gaston during the auction, and even then, only because her sisters interfered. Another instance of their cleverness was demonstrated in the fourth issue when Claudette, Laurette, and Paulette managed to successfully trick a bear into temporarily breaking out of hibernation by starting a fire to supply warmth, a leafy branch to indicate blossoming plants, and Laurette tweeting like a bird to indicate birds had come out for spring. The same issue also implied they were good at mathematics or at the very least counting, as their first appearance in the issue had them counting up to 783 when watching Gaston use books as barbells. In the first issue, they were also shown to be good at setting hunting traps, as they had a net trap set up that would activate if stepped on, which they intended to use on Gaston, although because Gaston knocked LeFou away, the latter accidentally set the trap instead. It was implied in the film, The Wedding Wishes coloring book, and Disney Princess, Royal Weddings, that despite their differences, especially their differing views of Gaston, the Bimbettes viewed Belle as a friend, as they were seen attending both the failed wedding between Gaston and Belle and the wedding between Belle and the prince. The former instance also showed them personally helping in setting up the wedding. While there was little interaction between them and Belle, Wedding Wishes and, to a lesser extent, Royal Weddings, Belle at least considered them friends during her wedding with the prince. In the prequel book Belle's Discovery, however, as children, the Bimbettes had a cruel and antagonistic relationship towards Belle due to her parents' situation. Despite their initial negative views about Belle, however, they eventually grew to respect her late in the book, as demonstrated by their willingly volunteering to help Belle prepare the bookstore for its grand reopening by making decorations for it. The same book also indicated they, or at least Claudette, had some interest in historical dresses and to a lesser extent the fantasy genre, as the means where Belle convinced them to go to the bookstore entailed her describing a magic doll, and also subtly drew attention to a book about dresses from the 17th century, causing the triplets to scramble to it. Although they were in love with Gaston, their actual relationship with Gaston varied. in the original film as well as the comics. It is strongly implied that Gaston completely ignored them, outside of general acknowledgement that they love him in the case of the comics, in favor of Belle since childhood. With the latter source having Gaston ending up outraged when he discovered one of them posing as Belle, while in the musical. They were mentioned to have some sort of romantic relationship before Gaston pursuing Belle. On a related note, their reactions to Gaston's arrival in the failed wedding proposal in the original film implied that they had been kept in the dark about Gaston being the groom for Belle's wedding. While in the musical version of the event, it was made clear that Gaston informed them of his intention of marrying Belle. In one of the comics, they were shown trying to attract Gaston's attention while sledding. Similarly, how they reacted to Belle being Gaston's chosen bride also varied. In the film, it was implied that they had ultimately accepted that Gaston wanted to marry Belle over themselves, while in the musical, they were devastated to the point of crying, while in the Marvel comics, they were shown to be spiteful and wanting Gaston to focus on and marry one of them rather than Belle. First is paint the skin, then color the yellow blonde hair and wearing in slippers for Claudette. Next is to wear an red dress outfit for Claudette. Next is to draw the hairstyle and then attach the red bow for Claudette. Finally, make the face for Claudette. So the character Claudette, the first Bimbette, from the movie Beauty and the Beast, has been completed. If you like this video tutorial, please like and subscribe button to receive the new notify. At the same time, download the app and go to the website DisneyStore to shopping online, as well as Disney Plus to watch some movies and TV shows for free, used by many peoples of the world. Thank you everyone and see you soon.